I grew up in a Christian home with a single mom, and she met my dad when I was around 4, and they got married when I was 7. And then he stepped in and raised me like his own without any second thought, and really was the mold to our family. He kind of changed our whole lives, so I always looked at it as a blessing, and kind of just taught me specifically what I would want for a father for my kids, and just how I'd want my family to be once I was old enough to have one. So I was running track in college. I started getting really slow and I couldn't breathe, so I went to the doctor and found out that I was pregnant. So I quickly finished that semester and moved back here to Texas. I went to PACN to do the ultrasound to make sure it was 100% pregnancy and that the baby was still okay. And then I met with their care team, and we came up with a plan on me finishing school and having her and figuring out the future of what that looked like. Where I was in Colorado, I wasn't surrounded by the best people. So coming back and getting involved in church and finding PACN, which was like Christian mentorship, is exactly what I needed. Really helped keep me at peace throughout that pregnancy. When my daughter was only 6 months old, I started hanging out with the wrong crowd again and kind of taking some baby steps backwards, and found out I was pregnant again with my second child. I had literally just had my daughter, and so the thought of having another one, being a new parent, I just didn't think I could love them both. And I felt like I was failing the one I just had, and I loved her so much, so I felt like I was just a failure, and I just disappointed her so badly. And just being scared and, like I said, just disgusted and disappointed with myself. So I just felt like that was honestly maybe the easy way out, and my daughter wouldn't be disappointed in me for the decisions I was going to have to make, and no one would ever know that that happened. I called PACN the first thing the next morning, and then I met with a team there and just had a really hard conversation with them, and it wasn't very pretty because I was just angry and really just upset with myself and didn't want to hear anything, but I knew I needed to be there, and they did so well the first time that I knew I could rely on them to help me through the ups and downs of what I was feeling. So I went and met with them and had already scheduled a meeting with an abortion clinic just to learn about the procedures and what my options were, not to actually get one. And they literally just didn't say a word. They just handed me a baby, this little rubber baby. And I just started sobbing, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this, because, you know, once it's in your hand, it just made it very realistic to me that there was a baby inside of me. I took that rubber baby with me, and on the way to that appointment, it was just me and the dad in the car, and we ended up getting so lost. I'm not even sure how it happened, but we were like an hour and a half away from where we were supposed to be. And so I instantly pulled that baby out and was just holding it. And again, he didn't really know what was in my hand, but I was just praying, and he was just laughing at me like, this isn't God's decision, this is your decision. And once I put the baby away and we were driving home, I had just prayed for signs. And so on the way home, literally every billboard was like giant baby faces and talking about adoption and birth and hospitals. And it was just, I just started laughing and crying, because I was like, all right, God, you literally could not have given me a bigger sign than a giant billboard on the side of the highway. So I did open adoption. So they live here in Texas, very close to where my daughter and I live, and we have a growing relationship with him and the family. He doesn't know who we are to him, but he knows who we are. So once he's old enough to start asking questions, he'll recognize who they're talking about when they answer it. But yeah, I have a very close relationship with the mom. I would say she's one of the closest people in my life. So we text, we meet up for coffee, we do things together, and they were just by my side through literally every step of the pregnancy and after. I could just call her, and that was the beauty in that relationship, is I could call her the day after and just sob, and she would just cry with me, which is gonna make me cry, I'm sorry. But yeah, she's one of my best friends. And even to this day, if I'm having a hard day, I can call her and she will drop whatever she's doing and talk to me or meet me to discuss what I'm feeling. And she just always reminds me that the decision I made was very selfless and that my kid is really happy. PCN is just a place, it's a safe haven. I really don't have the words to describe it. It's just being able to call them in the middle of the day, one day after an ultrasound, and being scared and I don't know if I can do this, and them just dropping whatever they're doing and having someone pray with you and really care about you was huge for me. Just knowing that they care and they're here for you and they'll do anything they can to help you and your kids it's really reassuring. I am proud of myself. It took me some time to learn that it was not a selfish decision, it was a selfless decision. I think a lot of birth moms need to be reminded of that you're making a very big, hard decision, but it is selfless, and now your children are benefiting from that.